Hey everybody, what's poppin'? I want to do a video on volume and how you can use it to help you trade better, how to find where the smart money is, where the big traders are moving, and let's get into it. So, this right here is a daily chart of Facebook, and this is back in October last year, so this is almost a year ago to the day. And you can see Facebook was about 190 and worked its way all the way up through the new year, got up to like 220 before the pandemic hit. So in February, we were at like 220 in Facebook. Then the pandemic hit, Facebook fell all the way down to like 140 and then started working its way back up. And as we speak right now, Facebook is up at 263. So what I want to point out is volume through all of this. So when everything was normal, Facebook was trading at about, 12 or 13 million shares a day, maybe a little bit more. The average is up here, but I would say it's probably closer to like 12 or 13 million a day. And it's working its way up, working its way up, working its way up. The price is, not the volume. The price is working its way up. So we start out here at 170, work our way all the way up. And the volume is pretty consistent through all of that. Then when the pandemic hit, the volume started to increase, and that's what this little line that I drew here represents, is the price increasing as the volume increases as the price falls. So price starts falling, and slowly the volume starts increasing. And what's happening is, as the price falls, people are starting to panic and sell. They call it panic selling, literally panic selling. And what it is just people have their number where they want to get out of some stock if it falls so much. So like, I don't know, maybe they bought Facebook at $150 and they said if it falls below 180 or something, we're going to get out of it. And it fell below 180, and so they got out. And then somebody else is like, well, I'm going to let it go to 177. And then it's 177 and they get out, and so on and so forth. And that just keeps going on and on and on until we reach some balance where there's nobody left that's willing to sell anymore. And once we reach that balance, you can see volume is incredibly high right here. So volume is gradually working its way up as more and more people kind of give up. I've heard it called shaking the trees. I've heard it called a bunch of different things, but basically the price is just falling, and every time it hits some new level, there's a new group of people that are like, all right, I got to get out of it. All right, I got to get out of it. Just constantly like giving up on the stock until we reach this balance. Now, as the price is falling and volume is increasing, the reason volume is also increasing is because the buyers on the other end of those sales, like Citigroup and all these big banks, are just waiting for people to sell because they know that Facebook is going to work its way back up to $200 and something. They're going to help it work its way back up there. So they're putting stuff on TV every day about how the market is going to crash and all this crazy stuff, like scaring people out of their stock. Also, they can buy it at these lower prices. So Facebook right now is at 263. That's higher than it was when the pandemic happened. The pandemic happened and we were at 220. And Facebook is now way higher than that. And if you ask yourself, like, what does Facebook even have to do with COVID-19? Nothing. It's just an opportunity for the big banks to take your stock from you, basically. So the price is falling, volume is increasing, and that's because the other end of those sales, there's people at Citigroup and all these other big banks that are just waiting to buy the stock from you. And then we reach this equilibrium, and you notice volume like balances out. So as it started off, volume was down here in like that 12, 13 million range every day. And then when the pandemic started, we worked our way up to like 19 or 20 million. And then this stuff kept going on. Now we're above 20 million a day. We're at like 22 or 23. And then by the time we get to where this balance happens, we're all the way up to like 35 million shares a day. And at this point, the buyers and the sellers basically like match each other. And the amount of people buying at this price starts to meet the amount of people selling at this price. And because of supply and demand, the price stops falling and it actually starts going up. And you can see volume starts to drop off at that point as well. So it's these areas that you want to look for if you're trying to swing and catch things going up. You want to look for very low prices on a stock that really shouldn't be low, or even if it is low, it's something that could rebound. Something like Facebook that isn't going anywhere, or something like, I don't know, Nike or Microsoft. Like, these stocks aren't going anywhere. These companies aren't going anywhere. So when the prices fall and you get huge volume at some point and the price balances out a little bit, and you'll see this on any time frame, a day, a 2 day, a 5 day, a month, any time frame you look at, you'll see these areas where the price falls, it balances out a little bit, and really high volume shows up. And you can see the volume. Each one of these bars represents a day of volume. When it was falling, you would get one huge bar, a couple bars that are close to it, another huge bar, a couple bars close to it, huge bar, a couple bars close to a huge bar. When you get to here to the bottom, all the bars are pretty much the same height, right? You got a couple of them that are a little bit bigger, but they're pretty much all the same height. That's showing you that the buyers have matched the sellers. This is like I don't even know what to call it. This is like Thunderdome or something down here, where at this price, it's just bananas and everybody is willing to buy at this price. And that's what causes the price to go up, is supply and demand at that point. If you look at, here's another example. Price is working its way up. For whatever reason, it fell down. You get a huge spike in volume. Huge. And then another bar is kind of similar to it. And if we zoomed in and looked at this at like an hour chart or something, we would see that same balance where the price is starting to level out and the price goes back up. So I would suggest you look for those days in your trading. And again, any time frame, 2 minute, 10 minute, any time frame has it, where price falls, volume shows up, and then the price starts working its way back up. It doesn't happen every single time. Like, you're not going to get these huge bars of volume every time the price falls. You look at this fall right here, you don't see some huge amount of volume. You can see the volume picked up a little bit down here as opposed to here, but it doesn't happen every time. But when it does happen, specifically when the volume shows up, that's your key. So it's not so much the price action. What it really is seeing the volume show up to meet that price action. That lets you know that there's buying or selling happening, and you just need to be ready to respond. All right, if you got any questions or comments, leave them below. Also hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please. I'm going to do some kind of a giveaway when I get to 25 subscribers. Right now we're at 10, and that's pretty good. We only put up about 7 or 8 videos. So that's good, working our way up. And also, I'm already in a trade in Peloton. I got in it a little while ago, which is early for me. I typically don't get in these trades this early, but it looked like it was going to make a move, and I was just trying to get there early in it. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the butt. We'll see tomorrow, hopefully, unless I have to sell it today, but we should be okay, and I'll be selling it tomorrow. All right. Thank you, and peace.